Late Night Health continues. We've had some scheduling issues, and I apologize. Linda Losey, the author of The Great God Hunt, is our guest, and I thought she was on last week, and she's on this week, and we welcome Linda to the show. Your book is compelling, Linda.
Thank you.
And is the book sad, or is it uplifting?
Certainly it brings you tears, and then you go into into joy, and it's I've been told it's inspiring. So I think it has all of the elements in it that makes for a good read.
Let's give a little backstory. One of your sons died in an accident,
Mm-hmm.
and then a few years later, your other son committed suicide?
Correct.
Oh, my.
Oh, my is right.
I mean, how do you get through that, Linda?
With a lot of hard work, I can tell you that. I mean, my youngest son, Sam, was crushed by the wheels of a trailer hauling a John Deere tractor in a field and died in shock trauma. And he died at my eldest son, Eric's feet. So Sam was 10 and Eric was 16 at the time. And Eric was my eldest eldest son, and felt responsible, if you will, for his death, but it was not his fault. It was just a tragic accident, and Eric went into the Marines, and and suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder when he was released after boot camp, and ended up committing suicide right after Christmas. And in fact, tomorrow it'll be tomorrow that happened. And
how many years?
Eric died in 2006, so not quite 10.
And
Sammy died in 2004.
So your son Eric took this to heart.
He did. He took it very much to heart, and he was 14 when the Twin Towers fell in New York, and he was always very stoic, and always with a smile. Always had a smile, but always doing the right thing. And in fact, we nicknamed him when he was younger Dudley, because he was like Dudley Do Right. He always just had that smile and was going to do right. And it certainly devastated. He was very close to Sam, and he was devastated by his death. And so he was 16, decided he was going to become a Marine, went into the Marine Corps, just to save the world. And when he went into boot camp, his best friend died. They were both seniors in high school at the time, and his best friend died. Eric was graduating on time, but had finished his coursework at the end of the first semester, so he still had, the February through May semester to go, but was finished. So he joined the Marine Corps, came back from that, and walked across the stage in his uniform, in his Marine Corps uniform, and that's when he dealt with the death of his best friend at graduation, and he just couldn't deal with any more death, and the Marine Corps, to their credit, recognized that in him, that he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from Sam's death, and he ended up dating his best friend's girlfriend, who revealed to him on Christmas that she was a lesbian, and he committed suicide 4 days later. He just was devastated. He had known Joshua for a long, long time. They were just best friends, and it certainly wasn't because of that. But I think he felt like he had no hope.
There is so many things that just keep happening to you. You were divorced twice. Your children died. Your father passed. I mean, you must have felt, biblically speaking, like Job.
I never questioned why me. It was not in my vocabulary, because if it's not going to be me, I mean, it's somebody else. There's so many other people who suffer out there and face adversity. When I rode my horse across America, and I met somebody who had lost 4 children, and you just have compassion for what happens in life, and it's a journey. And I've always made the best of circumstances, and it was very difficult, though I have to say, learning to laugh and love and live again. And certainly there are steps that need to be gone through and taken in order to get to that point in life again, especially after such crushing blows. So it's been quite the journey.
All these experiences, if you will, these catastrophic illnesses that would make most people climb into bed, and I know you did for a long time, but they would never get out. You did. Did these experiences help create Linda?
Oh, my. How could it not? How could it not help to shape who I am? I am the woman I am today, certainly as a result of what I've gone through in life. And for that I'm grateful. I mean, I like who I am. I like what I bring to the world, what my unique gifts are. And I would never, ever, ever wish it upon anybody to have to deal with the things that have happened in my life.
In the beginning of the book, one of the things you say is, time heals all. Time heals everything. It doesn't, does it?
No.
Not in this case.
No, certainly not. And in fact, I go on to say that whoever said those words never lost a child, because it doesn't heal. It certainly doesn't heal. You learn to reinvent yourself and move through the pain and get to the other side, to another place. And as a hopefully somebody who is wiser and more compassionate, and just a different person.
Losing a parent, even losing a friend, is much different than losing a child. I mean, I don't want to experience it. We're meant to die before our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we're all taught. And yet, here's this awfulness that happens to people like you. Is there evil? I mean, is this motivated by evil, or is this a lesson from God?
Wow. There certainly is evil in the world, and I don't dispute that. But I feel it's more of a journey. It was a journey for Sam. He was my Renaissance man, creative soul, published poet.
At
wrote
10?
songs. At 10, he was hung. His paintings hung in an art gallery, and Eric was just he was a fabulous lacrosse player, a joy to be around. And I think from the death of my dad, he passed down some gifts in his the way that he died and the manner that he died. And I learned to listen to the universe and question, really. And I fully believe that we all come with with choices in life, and how we want to live, and how we want to die, and how we want to proceed through life. And I think both my sons and my father came to live their life, and I agreed at some point in life, in another world, to be their mother and to be to go through this. And I think Eric's suicide, though, certainly shortened his life by his choice here, not by his choice previously. And so, is there evil in the world? Sure. I mean, there are certainly evil people in the world, or who come with ill intent. But I don't feel that it was necessarily a lesson from God. I feel that it was something that a lesson, something that we chose to do and agreed to prior to our coming here, to experience it and to learn from it, so we can move further along our path as we go back to the light of God.
The author of the book, The Great God Hunt, A Guide to Living in the Here and After, Linda Losey is our guest. Linda, we need to talk, of course, about the fact that you're you make booze too. The name of your company is the Bloomery Plantation Distillery, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Have all these experiences helped you define your own purpose? And will the book show me, as a reader, how to find my purpose?
I hope so. It certainly touches the lives of people who need it. There are people who read it and don't take away from it, but the people who are seeking certainly take away from it what they need. It's not for all. It's certainly not for all. But it's for many people who have suffered great tragedy and who are seeking answers to what the meaning of life is and what your purpose is here. And how the whole book came about in 1994, my father passed away from cancer, and it was 2 months from time of diagnosis to the time he died. And I have 4 children. I'm the mother of 4, 2 surviving children now, and now 2 who've passed on. And so it was a quick death for him. And I took my 2 youngest children back up to Buffalo. I was living in New York at the time, and my parents were in Buffalo. And it took actually 3 months, and spent it with my father and my mother, and helping them to get through this. And my father became blind. He became mute. The cancer just sucked his life away from him. And he died, though, a very good death for us, in that the night that he passed away, his breathing was very shallow, and my mom and I were with him, and we kept telling him, Dad, go to the light, go to the light. And he didn't say anything, and probably he sort of dozed off, and probably 6 hours after this, he just sort of sprung out of bed, up, and he was sitting up, and he was just a skeleton of a man at that point. And he smiled, just a beautiful smile, and he said, "I see the light. Goodbye." And he passed. Wow. Yeah, it was
amazing. Amazing. What an experience. The Great God Hunt, it's compelling. It's a hard read. It is a hard read. And at the same time, it shows the one word that we all need: hope. Hope. Linda Losey is our guest on Late Night Health. You can find out more about the book by going to latenighthealth.com. We'll have a picture of Linda up there, as well as a link to her website. Linda and I are going to take a little time out. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion and maybe lighten it up with a little nightcap, if you will, as we talk about Bloomery Plantation Distillery, based in Maryland, of all places, as Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. Don't go away. We have more coming up as we wrap up our show for this first of the year 2016.